Hey everyone, what's up? I'm Sendoh, and today we're diving into some of the lesser known facts about the world of Counter-Strike. I mean, with so many years of history behind it, there are tons of details that most people don't even know about. Unless you're a die-hard fan or a walking encyclopedia, of course. So let's get into it. Here are 10 curiosities from CS2. Let's go! Today's video is sponsored by skinvault.gg, the ultimate virtual marketplace where you can trade, buy and sell your skins easily and 100% securely. Tired of your old skins? Skinvault makes it super simple. Just pick a few skins from your inventory, choose what you want from their site, and boom! It's done in just a few clicks. And don't forget to use the code sendoh to get a $10 bonus on your first trade and 35% extra on your deposit. One of the most loved events in the Counter-Strike community has always been the operations. They came with upgradable medals, skins, drops, and community-made maps. Over the years, the price of these operation passes changed quite a bit. The first one, Operation Payback, cost around $5.99. Then it came Operation Bravo, which went for less than $1. Phoenix was $2.99. Nowadays, you can't upgrade those medals anymore, but they're still highly collectible. There's actually a guy out there, goes by the name Judicious, who bought thousands of passes when they were cheap, and now they're worth a fortune. But how much would it cost to own the full set of Operation medals today? Well, we've had 11 operations total, and here's the current value per pass. Payback $333, Bravo $229, Phoenix $136, Breakout $50.13, Vanguard, the priciest one, $661, Bloodhound $34, Wildfire $176, Hydra $18.67, Shattered Web $42.58, Broken Fang $16, Riptide $38.89. Add that all up and you're looking at over $1,735 just for 11 medals. So hey, if you've managed to collect them all, your account has a really good value. When CS2 dropped, a lot of content from CSGO was completely scrapped. Game modes, maps, even the different player factions. Back in CSGO, each map had different character models based on their lore. On Sandmark, for example, you had pirates versus police. In Dust 2, Israeli Special Forces. But in CS2, all gone. Why? Well, while there's no official explanation, there's a good reason behind the change. In both Inferno and Italy, the terrorist models wore white ski masks and berets. Problem was, they looked eerily similar to members of ETA, a real-life terrorist group that caused a lot of pain in Spain during the 90s and 2000s. This led to political backlash in Spain. Some even tried to get the game banned and filed complaints against Valve. Nothing came of it in the end, but it wasn't the only time CSGO's character models stirred up controversy. So it's very possible Valve just decided it wasn't worth the legal risk. Now, all character models are fictional, and the only way to change them is by buying agent skins. As a design decision, it makes sense. Less work for Valve, no legal drama, and everyone sees the same thing in competitive play. Ever since community-made skins were introduced, there've been plenty of controversies, especially when it comes to stolen art. The most infamous case was the M4A4 Howl. It was removed from its case, redesigned by Valve, and became the game's only contraband skin. But it's not the only one. The USP Orion, also removed. Then you've got the CZ Poison Dart, Dual Beretta's Retribution, P90 Desert Warfare and Mac-10 Curse, all pulled from the game. All were made by the same artist involved in the Howl drama. Valve ended up removing every single one of their skins. Even though you can't get these from cases anymore, you can still use them in trade-up contracts. Within Counter-Strike, there are several hidden rewards. In other words, you need to meet certain requirements to unlock these rewards. Right now, we can get 2 music kits for having played 2 different games. One of them is Hades, where you need to play for at least 5 hours, and once you enter CS2, you'll receive the kit completely free. Another game that gives you a music kit is Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Although it's a bit pricey, you can also buy one of the individual games, and after spending 5 hours playing, you'll end up getting the music kit as well. Lastly, another gift Valve gives us in CS2 is the genuine Alex pin. This one is completely non-transferable, and it's significantly more expensive. It's given to you when you purchase the Valve Index, the company's virtual reality headset. Some people used to buy the headset, redeem the pin, then return it. But yeah, Valve caught on to that and banned a few accounts, so maybe don't try that. When it comes to Counter-Strike operations, community-made maps were often not designed to be competitive at all, they were made to be fun. A perfect example of this is Library, from Operation Payback, the very first operation in CSGO. In this map you can plant the bomb just 2 seconds after spawning. It's ridiculously small, basically one cramped room filled with bookshelves, maze-like corridors and multiple levels. Honestly, it kind of feels like a first attempt at the retakes mode, where the round starts with the bomb already planted. Sometimes it's nice to see maps that are just about having fun, no need to memorize 50 different grenade lineups or run complex strats. Even though a bunch of content is missing from CS2, the game files suggest a lot is still in the works. Train, for example, was completely reworked, but originally looked identical to the CSGO version. In those early dev files, people found images of lake, short dust and canals. What's more, a ton of canals assets like the big clock, gondolas, iron posts are still available in the workshop tools, so it's very likely Valve was planning a comeback for this map, but for some reason it's still on hold. Speaking of maps, the new Train remake has a couple of really suspicious posters that might be hinting at future content in CS2. The first one is on the station's notice board. It shows a missing chicken named Henrietta. Aside from being hilarious, it could be a subtle clue that pets might be coming to CS2, and it wouldn't be the first time something like that popped up in the game files. There've been references to pet accessories, the ability to hold them, even inspect them. Right next to that poster, there's another one listing various train stations, and here's where it gets interesting. Most of the names match existing maps in the game, but there are also some that don't exist in CS2 yet, like Assault, Bank, Cobblestone and even Lake. That definitely gets people thinking, are these classic maps making a comeback? A lot of folks are speculating which one might return first, and honestly, the odds are pretty high that a Snowy Cobblestone remake is already in the works. It was even spotted in a leaked file a while back. Throughout the history of Counter-Strike, we've seen all kinds of weapons and gear. Some became iconic, others were removed and never seen again. One great example is the Scar, which was actually in the beta version of CSGO, but was eventually scrapped and replaced by the M4A4 we all know today. But just because a weapon gets cut doesn't mean it's gone for good. We've already seen cases like the MP5SD in CSGO, which was added back years later. And actually, in one of the first developer interviews about CS2, they confirmed that adding new weapons is definitely part of the plan. Now, whether that's happening soon or way down the line is anyone's guess, but it's totally possible we could see old scrapped weapons return, or even brand new ones being introduced in the future. Back in 2023, data miners discovered a bunch of images and files in the game that pointed to a brand new Counter-Strike operation. This was supposed to be the next big event after Operation Riptide. However, that operation ended up being cancelled due to the development of Counter-Strike 2. Most of the skins planned for it were assumed to be scrapped. But what if I told you one of them actually made a comeback? That's exactly the case with the Midnight Laminate. While it's not exactly the same skin that was originally planned, the concept is clearly the same. The original version was called the Purple Laminate, and in CS2 they've redesigned it slightly, but kept the same overall vibe. From that same unreleased list, there was also an M4A4 Fate, which eventually did make it into the game, just in the form of the silenced M4 in the new Armory Pass. So while many of those scrapped skins were forgotten, we can't rule out the possibility that Valve might bring back more of those designs in the future. Staying on the topic of skins, scamming attempts are becoming more and more common. Fortunately, there's a super simple trick to figure out if someone who adds you on Steam is trying to steal your skins. Most scam accounts tend to have the same 4 games: Counter-Strike 2, Team Fortress 2, Dota 2, and Artifact. These are all free-to-play Valve titles which scammers use to farm AFK hours and make their accounts look more legit. So if someone adds you wanting to trade or shows interest in your skins, and they have hundreds of hours in these exact games with an empty inventory, chances are it's a scam. The best move? Just ignore the request and block the account. And that's it! 10 things about Counter-Strike 2 you probably didn't know. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe and drop a comment letting me know which fact was your favorite. Thanks for watching, I'm Sendoh and I'll see you next time. Peace!